president's first major legislative push in the new year is going to be infrastructure. The White House expected to unveil a proposal aimed at repairing the nation's roads, airports, and bridges next month. Earlier this year, the administration proposed spending $200 billion on infrastructure over the next decade that they say will spur an additional $800 billion on the state and the local level. That adds up to $1 trillion if you're keeping track right now. Now, this comes as a major New York City area thoroughfare, the New York Bay Extension Bridge, is now closed for emergency repairs after the deck dropped several inches. Joining us now from Washington to weigh in, media reporter for the Washington Examiner, Eddie Scarry. Eddie, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's first talk about what's happening with the nation's bridges and roads. This Newark Bridge has caused a traffic nightmare in the New York City area. We had the train derailment out west last week. How much do you think Democrats are going to get on board for infrastructure? Normally, they like to spend money on infrastructure projects.
Right, and that's something we're going to have to see how that plays out politically, simply because you have Republicans, if you remember back during the Obama years, the early Obama years, they wanted to pass the stimulus, which had a lot of infrastructure elements to it. And Republicans looking through, and conservative groups looking through the bill, scrutinizing it, they claimed there was a lot of waste in it. They said that the money was not being spent properly. So that's going to have to be something that the president thinks about if he wants something this massive to go through. And the spending is pretty remarkable. So he's going to have to do some work with Republicans, particularly on that issue.
Hey, Eddie, Ryan Knutson here. Would it have been more effective if Trump had taken this on first? I mean, if this was his first move out of the gate after the election, when people weren't really sure what he was going to do politically, is it going to be more difficult for him to try to do this now that he's sort of built up a lot more enemies in Washington?
I think you're right, and you would think that this should be a less controversial issue, given that everybody likes the idea of their bridges and their roads being repaired in their town. Everyone knows what a pothole feels like, one that's been there for years. So this could have been a more politically wise move to take on. I know that what he campaigned on was the sense of urgency when it came to Obamacare, immigration. He did talk a lot about infrastructure, and he's been talking about that, going back decades when back towards the 80s. So it could have been an easier move to make. At the same time, he did make certain promises that were more urgent at the time, or that he maybe saw as more urgent. So it's still hard to see. I know the Democrats maybe don't see themselves as having much of an incentive to work with him, but maybe he can flex his muscles on this and get something done.
Well, we should say that Congresswoman Debbie Dingell has come out in public and said she is willing to work with the president. So I do want to add that in. Kat, Tim's got a question for you.
Yeah, I know you mentioned earlier, Eddie, about how Republicans in the past have been concerned about spending when it comes to bills like this. Do you see those concerns now, or maybe at the very least, do we hear anyone talking about how maybe we might pay for this?
Well, even when it came to the tax bill that was just passed, we had certain holdouts saying that we don't see the math here. We don't see how this is going to work out. We've been elected to Congress going back, for several terms in some cases, where they were deficit hawks. They were looking at the spending. They were very anti-spending on the Obama years, and they couldn't come, or they at least didn't want to be perceived as completely flip-flopping on that now that they had a Republican in power. So yeah, I think that there is a strong likelihood you'll see enough Republicans that this is not going to be, it's not just going to squeeze through quickly. This is something they're going to have to work on and really deal on, probably on an individual basis with certain members.
Certainly, and that's where the negotiating is going to come back in, and that's all going to start next month. The president visited a group of first responders at a fire station in Florida yesterday. He was talking a lot about his first year in office, and it was interesting what he said. He said that the country is a, quote, big, beautiful ship that his administration is turning around. Listen to what he said.
We have more legislation passed, including the record was Harry Truman a long time ago, and we broke that record. So we have a lot done. In addition, we have a lot of executive orders. The stock market hit a new high 84 times since we won the election on November 8th of last year. So that's something we can all be proud of, and that makes you all look very smart. And your family say, boy, are you a great investor, right?
Eddie, you're a media reporter. What is your take on how the president was treated by the press corps in 2017?
I mean, he likes to say a lot that the overwhelming coverage by the national press has been negative. I mean, that's true. Anybody who watches the news knows that that's true. When it comes to the fact that his achievements and legislatively, obviously that's overshadowed a lot by Russia, the Russia deal, and I think that he's been upset, and there are some understandable frustrations why his repealing certain Obama regulations that were done by executive order. He's got through this massive tax bill. That's been obviously his first major legislative accomplishment. I think he has reason to say that these are issues that are not covered. I'm doing what I said I would be elected to do, and it's 1 year down, and he's still standing. There were some people who had doubts about that. So we're going forward. He's got another 3 years, and we'll see what he can do in that time.
Well, I want to take this to Heatha, because if you look in particular how retail stocks have been doing earlier this year, strong consumer spending, consumer sentiment.
Exactly.
I mean, but besides the Wall Street gains, he's rolled back regulations. For every one regulation, he killed 22. I mean, the Supreme Court justice nomination. I mean, they've had all these wins. They don't seem to be getting credit for that, but the American consumer seems to be spending on those.
Well, and that was a question that I was gonna ask. I mean, how is it that we here on business networks are talking about these trillion-dollar gains for the market? And, you know, we're looking at an almost 16% increase overall in the last year. How come no one's talking about that? I mean, is it one thing that is it only specific for us business networks, or is this just a story that just gets lost in the shuffle?
Well, I know, again, that the Russia controversy has consumed a lot of time, particularly when it comes to the national media. But there are polls that show that the public, overall, that is the last issue that they care about. The AP came out with a poll some time ago, within the last month, that said that there was about 30% of the public that was their main issue. Others, Republicans, they cared about immigration. Democrats cared about health care. And these are things he's working on, and they consume, I would guess, most of his day. But the Russia deal is of most interest to the national media in New York and Washington.
Eddie, I think you're psychic, because I've got the poll right in front of me. And I want to tell our viewers some of the specifics. I think it was very fascinating. This poll ranks the highest priorities for the American public for 2018. Guess what was number one? It was health care, overwhelmingly, 48%. That was Democrats, Republicans. Right behind it was taxes, immigration, the environment, education, and then finally the economy. But also I have to add on this poll, Eddie, that a lot of Americans say that the president has not done anything to unite the country. In fact, only 9% of Americans say that he has brought the country together.
Right, and I think that just talking about media coverage, I think we should always wonder what role the media plays in that, the national media, that is. We have a very divided media. I don't know so much. It reflects kind of, because that's where the country gets its news. That's a lot of their perspective is shaped that way. But when we have very polarized media, you might see that effect. So I would think that's to be expected in some ways.
It seems to me that one of the reasons that Trump is not happy with the coverage is because he creates controversies that then the media reports on and creates these conflicts. I mean, you know, we had that sound up earlier, and he mentioned how he's signed more legislation than any other president, which is actually not the case. And so reporters end up focusing on the fact that he made a misstatement rather than focusing on the issues that
right, but I don't know that that's actually a controversy he created. It might just be he's talking off the cuff. I mean, I would actually even, if you go back to the controversy with the NFL and the things he was talking about, the kneeling for the flag, that was kind of an aside that he gave at a rally. It wasn't the main piece of his speech that he was giving at the rally, but you had the national media clamoring onto this, and they talk about it for days and days and days. And so I don't know that the controversy was his that he made so much as it was the media's.
I think everyone knows you need to be a little more careful when you're president, though, about what you say. That's the thing about being president.
Maybe that's his New Year's resolution.
Well, this is what change looks like as well, yeah.
Think before you tweet. They've been entertaining, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Scarry. Eddie, thank you very much. Thanks for getting up early with us this morning.
Of course.